so the first thing we do when we get a blade in is we do an edge look, and just to see if we can see any imperfections. I've already gone through these, but this one had been chipped out quite a bit, and we have to fix those edges. But also we want to polish up the outside a little bit just to get all the old gunk and stuff like that off. What we use for that is our 1x30, and this is a Scotch Brite pad. Run it on, and we just run this across. Hold it down with a little bit of pressure on both sides. And again, that just gives it a rough cleanup to, to get that stuff off, and you can see it shines it up a little bit, not for aesthetics, but just for, just to have it cleaned up and just easier to clamp and everything. And then we want to look at that edge. Okay, so we've got that edge now, and this is a 180 grit. Okay, and we're just going to hold this down. I'm not going to hold this down long because I've already done this, but we're just going to smooth that edge off and get those nicks out and get a little bit of the thing off. This 180 grit belt, and get that flattened out. So when we go to the stones to sharpen, it's ready to go. So so now it's flat and ready to go, and we'll go over to the sharpener. Okay, so this is our Tormek machine. This is a leather composite belt here, and we're going to start with a 600 grit CBN wheel on this side. Typically, this is for this short a blade, it's a one clamp. I actually like to use two clamps. It just makes it stiffer across, and there's just that much less chance of rocking that blade and making that bevel uneven. So we'll tighten those up on there, and then we'll get started. There's really no set amount of time. It's just whenever you pick up the burr on the back side of this blade. Right now it's smooth, and you can feel that. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick up that. Now remember, we sanded it a little bit, so it's going to be a little flat there on the end. This turns at a very low speed, so about 190 RPMs, so you don't build up a lot of heat. And so this is a fixed angle like we talked about before. The height here sets this angle. This angle matches the factory angle for those, and we just run it across. My hand's kind of in the way there. So we just run it across here, and we're grinding it away just a little bit at a time, and then we'll keep checking. I usually start about 10, and then I can check it. You can feel it here. You can see we're got a little bit of uneven pressure over here on the left-hand side, so I'll fix that, but you can see that new bevel forming, and you can feel that burr coming up on that back side. Not down here you can't, but over here where we've set that. So now we'll put a little bit more pressure on this left side. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll keep that pretty consistent, and then pressure down on the left. And again, these dual clamps help that, supporting that blade all the way across. Now you can see that bevel. I don't know if you can see that bevel. It's straightened out here on the thing, and it's evened out, and we're getting a little bit of that lip all the way across the back. I want to do a little bit more. Don't feel quite as much. What we're doing is we're apexing the blade. We're apexing that edge, that bevel, so it goes all the way. This is a single bevel blade, so we just want to get that one apex on that other side to where it rolls over. Okay, we do that, and that looks good. So now you can see all the fluff and everything has come up there on the thing. Okay, now we're going to move to the 1,000 grit wheel. Okay, we're back on the 1,000 grit wheel. It's going to look exactly the same, except we're not going to do as many. We don't need to do as many passes, because all we're doing, we're not changing that bevel. We're just refining that bevel to reduce the scratch pattern and any type of wear or resistance that it would have cutting through whatever you're cutting. In this case, it would be the ice. So we're going to watch that and just make sure after about 10 passes, we're just going to make sure that we've still got a little bit of a burr there, because the burr is going to be smaller, but we don't have any change in that bevel angle coming across. So that's about all we need on 1,000 grit, because again, this CBM wheel cuts pretty quick, and we're just refining what we did before. Not really removing. We're moving more material, but not changing the apex or changing the geometry. Okay, so we're good there. So now after that's done, we're just going to go, we're going to take it out of here and we're going to take it right over here to the leather composite wheel. And we're going to see that burr pop up, and we're going to come across here about 5 passes there. Don't know if you can see it, but we can see that burr has popped up, and now it's smooth going across the back. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to go here. We're going to do that one until we stop seeing that metal fly off, which is the burr from that, from that edge. Yeah, see, I still see a little bit more, and I'm going to take that off. And this just really, really refines that edge and takes the rest of that bevel off. And as soon as that bevel comes off, then we can test the sharpen and chest the edge. Now, I'm a little bit old school, so I do check for the presence of any more of that apex or any more of that burr with my fingers. Probably a better way out there to do it. I just haven't found it yet that I can get used to. So get that, keep going back and forth. And what we're doing is we're folding that burr over, back and forth, one side to the other side until it is no longer there. Comes around, you can see the motor is not stalling at all. So we're putting very light pressure on this. We can change the angle just a little bit because we're not cutting metal here. We're just taking that off. And then we can just feel across there. Very, very smooth, very, very sharp. Now we just go take us a piece of bond paper and make sure that it's slicing well. And you can see it's slicing paper very, very well. That is one sharp blade. I'm going to take it over to the best tester and see what it tests at. And then if it's in the 200s, then we're going to ship this one off, clean it up, and that one will be done. Okay, we're at the best tester now, and you can see you can see a little tiny piece of monofilament line. It's not like fishing line, but it's some certified media that does a consistent test and all the way around. It stretches across there. We're going to put it on this tester. This is just a gram scale that measures in grams. We're going to turn it on, set it to 0, and then we're going to push down on this blade until this media breaks, and then it's going to tell us how many grams that took to do that. So we're going to push down evenly. You can see the number climb. Okay, and we're 260. That is very sharp. You saw what it did on paper. That is very sharp, 260. So you can go up to very dull knife that you would take out would be in the 5,000 range. Razor blades run about 275, 295, depending on the brand. You can get some of those down in the 200s. So that's a very, very sharp edge. We're pleased with this one. We're going to clean it up, ship it off to the user, make some more snow cones, make some more smiles. Okay. Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments or give me a call. Thanks. Bye.